Welcome back to Have More Babies. This is where we dig into important sources to pull out the knowledge you actually need, giving you that shortcut to being really informed. I'm Stella, and today we're tackling a really big milestone.
Making that jump to preschool. I mean, this is where their academic life kind of kicks off, right?
It really is.
And we're looking at this super comprehensive guide from a pediatric resource.
Yeah.
It's all about making that transition smooth, maybe even tear-free for both you and your child. Our job, take their big list and turn it into usable nuggets.
Yeah, it's a great resource. We've got like 19 different strategies here. And they're not just about knowing ABCs. It's deeper, focusing on cutting down anxiety and, really boosting their ability to learn.
Okay.
So our goal is to really get to the why and the how behind all this advice. What the source really drives home is that kids who are well prepared, they just show much better academic readiness, especially in ways parents sometimes overlook if they're only thinking about, say, memorizing colors. Okay, let's dive right into that readiness then, because it's easy to think, okay, letters, numbers, but what are those maybe surprising foundational benefits the research points to, the things that really matter later on?
Well, it often comes down to the soft skills. Educators might call them executive function skills. They're huge. The guide really highlights preschool as that first big chance for formal social negotiation.
Social negotiation, like making friends.
Exactly. Mastering how to make friends. That means learning to cooperate, how to share toys or materials, taking turns. It sounds simple, but these moments, that's where kids learn about boundaries, waiting their turn, delayed gratification, and even solving little conflicts. It's life skills, really, just wrapped up in playtime.
Wow, okay. And I bet that feeds directly into their confidence, right? If a kid feels like they can handle things in this new place, they're going to walk in ready to explore, not, hide in a corner.
Precisely. That independence is just crucial. When a child gets the hang of self-help skills, like using the restroom on their own, managing their coat and shoes, washing hands they can actually shift their mental energy away from just basic needs.
And on to learning.
Onto engaging with what's happening. The guide sees mastering these things as the real spark for getting excited about school. It's that I can do it myself feeling that lets them really thrive emotionally and intellectually too.
That really reframes it. It's less about drilling facts and more about building up their independence and their self-belief. And it's interesting how the source talks about preschool being this critical bridge.
That's a perfect way to put it. It's the bridge from the comfort and familiarity of home right into the structure of school. And while they're picking up those vital social skills, they're also getting smarter, learning letters, shapes, concepts.
But it's fun.
That's the key. The learning is embedded in fun. It's games, stories, building things, painting. That mix is so important because it makes learning enjoyable, and that actually strengthens the brain pathways for more formal learning down the road.
Okay, that makes total sense, preparing them emotionally and intellectually for the environment itself. So let's shift gears from the why to the how. How do we actually get them ready? The guide's pretty clear. Start way before day one.
Oh, yeah.
What's the timeline look like for just like mental prep, and what are the first practical things parents should do?
We're not talking weeks here. Think months ahead. Mental prep starts with just talking about school, consistently, positively, chat about the fun things they'll do, the stuff they'll learn, and be open to their questions. It changes school from this big, scary unknown into something familiar, maybe even exciting.
Okay, talking is good, but how do you make that abstract idea feel real? Less scary.
Familiarity. That's the key to easing anxiety.
Yeah.
So the big practical step, do a school tour. Take your child to the preschool. Let them see the classroom, the playground. Meet a teacher if possible. It lets them mentally map it out. Where's the bathroom? Where will my cubby be? Seeing it makes it real and way less intimidating.
Right. And the guide also mentions something simple, like reading books about preschool. Seems almost too basic, but they emphasize it. Why is that so effective?
It's about externalizing feelings. When a child reads a story, maybe about a little character who's also nervous about the first day, that can kind of project their own nerves onto that character. It takes the fear from being this heavy, unspoken thing inside them.
And makes it something they can talk about.
Exactly. It becomes a story, a narrative they can discuss. It's a really safe, low-stakes way to process those emotions and see that feeling nervous is normal.
Okay, speaking of emotions, the big one, separation anxiety. Both for the kid and, let's be honest, the parent.
Definitely.
The source says practice separation. That sounds tough. Maybe even counterintuitive for some parents. How do you handle the guilt, and what's the actual method they suggest?
It needs to be strategic. And yeah, the parent has to manage their own anxiety first. The guide advises against just ripping off the Band-Aid with long separations right away.
Okay.
Instead, it's gradual. Start small. Leave him with grandma or a trusted friend for just an hour, then maybe 2 hours next time. Slowly increase it. This builds their confidence step by step that separation isn't permanent, that you will come back.
But what about drop-off? The actual moment, the tears. We've all seen the clinging leg, the one more hug that stretches into forever.
The key there is consistency. Rock solid consistency.
Yeah.
You need a goodbye routine. It has to be brief, predictable, and firm. Maybe it's a special handshake, 2 quick hugs, I love you, and then you leave.
No lingering.
No lingering, no negotiating for one more story. The routine itself becomes comforting because the child knows exactly what happens before you go. It signals safety and predictability, and it actually minimizes those meltdowns because the stalling doesn't work.
Predictability. That sounds like it applies to their daily schedule too, right? Getting their home routine in sync with school.
Absolutely critical. Their little bodies need to be ready for the school's rhythm. You need to align their wake-up time, meal times, even nap times if the preschool has them, with the school schedule. Start shifting it weeks before. It just minimizes that physical shock and stress in the first few weeks.
Okay, makes sense.
If class starts at 9 and they're used to rolling out of bed at 8:45, they're starting the day already playing catch-up, probably tired and cranky.
Yeah.
Setting them up for success means getting their body clock ready.
Right, okay. So, mental prep, check. Logistics, check. Now, this is where it gets really practical. The self-help skills. Once they're feeling okay about going, they need to actually function there. What are the absolute must-teach skills?
Top of the list. Using the toilet independently, start to finish, and washing hands properly afterwards. That's number 1. Number 2 is basic clothing management, pulling pants up and down, handling shoes, maybe simple zippers or snaps on a coat.
And this isn't just about making the teacher's life easier, right?
Well, it does that too. But more importantly, it builds that crucial independence. Think about it. If the teacher isn't spending tons of time helping kids with basic bathroom stuff or getting shoes on, there's more time for actual teaching and engaging activities for everyone. Plus, the child feels capable.
And the guide connects that capability, that self-reliance, like dressing themselves, maybe putting away toys, to feeling a sense of ownership.
Yes. And that leads into the practical tip about labeling things. Backpacks, lunchboxes, jackets, label everything. But here's the twist. Get the child involved. Let them pick out a special sticker for their water bottle or help you write their name on the tag.
Ah, so they
Yep.
recognize their stuff.
Exactly. It subtly shifts the responsibility. Those aren't just mommy's things for me. They're my things that I need to keep track of. It promotes organization and accountability right away.
Okay, labeling. Got it. Now, what about getting their hands ready? For drawing, cutting, all that classroom stuff. Practicing fine motor skills sounds like play, but the guide treats it as serious prep.
It is serious prep. It's fundamental muscle training for their hands.
Yeah.
When we talk about coloring, drawing, playing with Play-Doh, using tongs to pick up pom-poms, building with small blocks,
Yeah.
we're strengthening all those tiny muscles in their hands and wrists. This isn't just about making pretty pictures. It's building endurance.
Endurance. Hand endurance. What does that mean for a preschooler?
It's a bigger deal than you might think. A major hurdle, often overlooked in kindergarten readiness, is fine motor fatigue. If a child's hand muscles aren't strong enough, simply holding a pencil correctly or using scissors for more than a minute or two can actually become tiring, even painful.
Wow, I never thought about that.
And when their hand starts to hurt or get tired, what happens? They stop paying attention to the lesson. They might get fidgety, act out. So practicing those fine motor skills directly impacts their ability to stay focused and participate in activities later on.
That's a really important connection. Okay, so they're physically ready, they're getting independent. Now, how do we prepare them for the group aspect? The social rules, listening to the teacher.
Social skills are huge. The pediatric resource really pushes for regular play dates. And think of these less as just casual fun and more as structured practice.
Practice for what?
For sharing, for taking turns, for learning empathy, like he looks sad because you took his truck, for respecting personal space. The earlier they practice this give and take in a small setting, the better they'll handle the dynamics of a full classroom, fewer conflicts, smoother integration.
Okay. And then there's listening. Not just hearing, but actually following instructions, maybe multi-step ones, in a busy room.
That's the key difference, isn't it? Active listening. It needs practice. Parents can make it fun. Play games like Simon Says or give simple instructions. Can you go get the red car and put it next to the teddy bear?
Ah, making it a game.
Yeah. It trains them to pay attention, process the request, and then act on it. This really helps when the teacher says, okay, everyone, put your crayons away and come sit on the rug. They can process that faster, which is vital when there are lots of other distractions.
I like the idea the guide mentions, too, about role-playing school at home. Seems like a great way to make it less intimidating.
Role-playing's fantastic. It demystifies the whole thing. Take turns being the teacher and the student. Use some props. Practice circle time. Practice raising your hand. You're basically giving them rehearsal time for the real deal. It lowers that performance anxiety significantly.
That sounds like it leads naturally into developing thinking skills, too. How does the guide suggest we foster problem-solving in kids this young?
Mostly by stepping back a little. It's about encouraging critical thinking by letting them grapple with small, safe challenges. Instead of jumping in to fix the block tower that fell, ask open-ended questions. How could we build it differently so it stays up? Or, you both want the same doll. What are some ways you could solve this problem together?
So guiding, not just giving answers.
Exactly. You guide them to explore options, think about consequences, make their own little decisions. That's how you build real autonomy and problem-solving skills.
It feels like all these pieces, the social, the physical independence, the thinking skills, they all kind of roll up into one big goal, just fostering a genuine love for learning.
That's the ultimate aim. The source material really emphasizes weaving fun, exploratory activities into everyday life. Keep reading together, visit a children's museum, or even just the library. Do simple experiments in the kitchen. The goal is to constantly reinforce that learning is cool, it's exciting, it's relevant. We want their curiosity, not just compliance, to drive them through school.
This has been incredibly helpful. It really drives home that preparing for preschool is, well, it's holistic, isn't it? It's the mental side, the routines, the practical skills, the social stuff. It all connects.
It really does, and it's an investment that pays off right away in their confidence and definitely sets them up for longer-term academic success.
And remember, this advice comes from a source focused on child health and well-being.
Right. The source material comes from a pediatric group that really emphasizes that whole child approach, preventative care, developmental milestones, all alongside things like immunizations and checkups. They cover a lot. So for you listening, if you're looking for more detailed guidance on navigating your child's health and getting them ready for big steps like preschool, we absolutely recommend checking out the source directly.
Yes.
For more great tips, tons of detailed information about your child's health, development, school readiness, visit omegapediatrics.com.
That really is the key takeaway here. Getting ready for preschool isn't just about checking boxes for day one. It's about celebrating their progress, nurturing that natural curiosity, that love of learning. That's what will carry them through.
Couldn't agree more. And as you are planning this big step, definitely check out the resources they have available over at omegapediatrics.com. They cover child wellness, readiness, and list all their services too.
So if this discussion helped you feel a bit more prepared for the preschool adventure ahead, please take a second right now to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and maybe share this deep dive with other parents who are getting ready for this exciting journey too.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
We'll catch you next time on Have More Babies.